Welcome back to the program, and we take you straight to Kibra, and here is our reporter Dennis Matara with an update on the quality of infrastructure in one of the schools in that area. Thank you so much for joining us. Dennis, what update do you have for us as of now?
Good morning to you, Njoroge. I'm at St. Catherine Education Center in Bombolulu, Kibra. This is one of the schools that was closed yesterday by the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, following issues whereby they said that the structure of the school was not sound enough to, of course, to continue with the education activities. According to Magoha, he said that the structure posed danger to the learners in this particular area. Now, maybe I'll just take you through, or maybe how the school looks like. Currently, actually, there is nothing that is happening. We will just get to one of the classes here. This was class 8. And we are told it had 29 candidates who were supposed to sit for their classes, or supposed to sit for their examination this year, but right now it is empty. And of course, maybe we can just pan on one side of the roof of this class. According to Magoha, he said that the way it was built using this wood material just to support the beams and support another floor upstairs is one thing that they said that posed a danger to the students, and they forced the closure. They demanded that the school be closed so that all the learners be moved to another school, which is Ayani Primary School, which is about 600 meters from here. Now, this is the ground floor, which is, okay, it had around 207 learners here, but we'll take you through to other classes that are upstairs, and as we walk through, maybe just careful, it's a little bit low, and then this was one of their offices, the inquiries office. This is the place where the head teacher, the owner of the school, that is the director, used to say. And then just walk with me. It's a little bit darker on one side here, and they're forced to use light at all the time because it is likely to be very dark. And then now we'll be taking upstairs. Maybe you'll just go with me so that we see the rest of the classes upstairs. This staircase, yes, it's made of metal, but you just need to be careful so that you don't slip over. Yeah, there is this. We are told that this class, this room used to be the area where the learners were taking on their lunch, when they take maybe breakfast, because the school was also offering food to the learners. But right now it is empty. Maybe now the chalkboard here, it's the last class that was handled here was yesterday. Right now nothing is happening. I'll also show you to the rest of the area here. Now we are on the first floor of the classes. Maybe you just come with me. We are having some parents actually here who were stranded because some of them were at work yesterday when this happened, and they did not get a chance just to know what exactly happened, because they're told that once they got home, their children told them their school has been closed. Sorry about that. So they were forced to go back home, and some of them are still at home, we are told. But we are yet to confirm with that, because we'll be meeting some parents here who are saying that their children are still at home because they're stranded, and some of them are not ready actually to go to the other school, which they say that they are supposed to attend. And this is the other class, which we don't know how many students were using this particular class, but we'll be able to know that once to speak. We'll be able to speak to the head teacher. Will be able to give us all the details. Come with me. Just let's take another staircase upstairs so that we're able to see here. Yes, this is another floor again. Maybe you can just show on the outside. This is Kibra, and you're able to view the neighbors here because it's commonly residential areas. You'll be able to see some far distance. And we're told there is another similar school that is about 200 meters away. There is one school, if you're able to see, it is also having another built using iron sheets on top. Can be able to be seen from a distance. That is another school that is built in a similar way. We're yet to know the name of that particular school, but we are also told that is another school, but it's not yet closed. But maybe once it is also checked, something can be done to that. But in one of what we realize is that this morning, the proprietor of the school met with the teachers of this particular school, of course, just to tell them and take stock of what was happening and talk about the way forward about the school, what is going to happen. Of course, when we spoke to him, he said that they had about 15 employees at that particular time, but now they may be forced to go home. But we will be speaking to him with right now. I'll just need to call him slightly. Kindly, sir, just come on board and talk to K24. Yes, sir, tell us exactly what happened yesterday. Were you prepared? Were you told what was going to happen? Had you received any warnings on the same?
No.
Yes, maybe tell us your name and...
My name is James Onyango. Yes. I'm the director and founder of this institution, yes. St. Catherine Children's Education Center. Yesterday when I was seated in my office at around 10:15, I just heard a bang in class 8. And immediately the teacher who was teaching there rushed into my office and told me that the district education officer is in the office and is shouting to the children that from tomorrow they should not be in class. So around 2 minutes later, a lady entered in my office, a brown lady, and she told me that she comes from the quality assurance department, and she started asking me questions. And when I was trying to answer the question, the DO came and she wanted to see other classroom. So I invited the deputy to take her around. When she came, she was shouting that I'm going to close this school. Then she asked for the visitor's book. I gave her the visitor's book and she wrote on it the school closed.
Did they give you reasons? Did they give you exact reasons as to why they are closing this particular school?
Yeah, they told me that one reason is that the school looks like the one which collapsed at Ndagoreti because it was built by iron sheets on top. Then I told them, but you would have notified me and recommended for me if you want me to do any adjustment, because this one is quite different. We are put down with the blocks and we also have some steel which hold the walls, and even the timber which we used was 6x1, total different from what happened in the other school. But she could not hear. She said, no, I've been instructed that I should close this school, and that is all. Then,
so what is the directive? Where are the learners? Where are your students right now, and how many did you have?
I had 207 students spread over from playgroup up to class 8. And she's the one who addressed them that from tomorrow, which is today, Friday, Thursday, they should report at Ayan Primary School. That she has confirmed that there are 5 empty classes. Then I asked her before she left, before you came here, you had already gone to Ayan to confirm how many spaces. That means you had a fixed mind. That is why you could not advise us. Then she left. Around 35 minutes later, or 40 minutes, she came back accompanied with the CS for Education and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education and DO and the administration.
Now, have you spoken to the parents? I'm sure the parents are also devastated as you are. Have you spoken to them? What are they saying about this?
Yeah, I've spoken to parents, and some parents have said that they cannot be forced to take children to the schools which is not of their choice. The DO is not in a position to choose where their children are supposed to go. They would have been consulted. But since the DO has not done it, some of them have said that it has remained only 4 or 5 weeks to the end of this term. They better stay with their children in their homes, waiting for the best school they they'll choose to take their children next day.
I understand there is a parent here with you. Maybe you can allow her to come on and speak to us. Kindly, madam, njoo kidogo tuzungumzie. Yes, wewe ni mzazi hapa. Mtoto wako alikuwa class gani na kwa sasa mmefanya namna gani?
Mtoto wangu,
niambie jina tafadhali.
Jina yangu inaitwa Naomi Masita. Mimi mtoto wangu wako class 8. Lakini kwa yale ilifanyika jana, tulishtuka sana kwa sababu mtoto wangu anaenda kukalia mtihani. Na bila anaenda kukalia mtihani, bila mmemshutua hivyo, atafanya mtihani vizuri. Na upande wa mtoto kwenda ayani, mtoto wangu amekataa. Amesema heri nikae tu kwa nyumba, nitaenda kukalia mtihani. Kwa sababu mimi siwezi toka hapa nienda ayani. Na ayani watoto wamejaa. Tutafunzwa aje?
Afisa wa elimu alikuwa amesema ayani kuna nafasi ya kutosha ya watoto kwenda eneo hilo. Si ni sawa mtoto kwenda pale?
Mtoto mwenyewe amekataa kwa sababu watoto wengi shule nyingi zikifungwa wanapeleka ayani. Kuna shule nyingine imepelekwa ayani, kuna nyingine. Sasa hii yetu ya 4 kwenda huko. Sasa mtoto amekataa na mtoto ako class 8. Sasa yeye ni kushutua watoto. Mungeachilia watoto wafanye class 8, alafu pastor ajipange atengeneza shule.
Nyinyi wamuoni kwamba hii ni hatari kulingana na yale ambao walisema kwamba hii shule huenda ikaboromoka pia?
Tunaona ni hatari, lakini wangempea hata wiki moja. Tuone mahali sisi wenyewe tupeleke watoto wetu. Sio watu lazimisha tupeleke watoto ayani. Mtu utaweza jipanga upeleke mtoto mahali unafikiria.
Kwa sasa mtoto wako umemwambia namna gani?
Mtoto mwenyewe amekataa, amekaa kwa nyumba. Hata sasa hivi anatoka kwa nyumba, ako kwa nyumba.
Kuna wazazi wengine pia labda ambao umezungumza nao?
Sijazungumza na mzazi mwingine, lakini sasa kwangu mwenyewe mtoto amekataa, amesema hawezi enda ayani. Amesema pengine shule nyingine mkinitafutia shule, lakini ayani siwezi enda.
Naona kuna mzazi mwingine hapa pia. There is another parent who also is wish to share her views on this particular incident, and of course looking at what they're saying, that they are not comfortable about what happened, but of course those are their own views. And let's get some views from another parent here. Ujambo mama, karibu K24. Hebu tuambie jina lako na mtoto wako alikuwa class gani?
Majina naitwa Florence Mama Ndege, standard 8. Najua nimeshangaa sana kusikia shule imefungwa kabla. So watoto wako kwa nyumba. Watoto hakuna pahali wanaenda. Na sasa hakuna admission yoyote yenye inaweza chukua watoto sasa Juni 3 term, na tumepaki na siku chache tu wafanye KCPE. So watoto wako kwa nyumba. Na hiyo ayani tupeleke watoto ayani. Ayani watoto pia ni wengi. Na watoto wenyewe wamekataa, kama ni ayani hatuwezi tukaenda ayani. Wacha hata tukae kwa nyumba. So watoto wetu sahi wako kwa nyumba.
Mtoto anakuambia vipi? Mbona asiende ayani? Yani afisa wa elimu alisema kwamba kuna nafasi ya kutosha kwa watoto wote kuingia ayani. Mbona nyinyi wazazi msiwapeleke pale?
Mtoto mwenyewe nikiongea na yeye ndiye anainsist, anasema ayani siwezi enda. Amesema ayani siwezi enda.
Wewe kama mzazi, je, unaona kwamba eneo hili ni hatari kwa maisha ya mwanafunzi ama mtoto wako ambaye anasomea eneo hili?
Eneo hii kulingana na vile naona haikukuwa hatari vile, na kama ministry ama serikali iliona ni hatari wangetupea notice.
Kwa hivyo nyinyi kwa maoni yenu mnaona vipi? Shule ifunguliwe irejee iendelee mpaka mwaka uishe ama namna gani?
Wacha irudi iendelee mwaka uishe ndio next year tuone pastor naye ajipange.
Nashukuru sana kuzungumza na K24. Yes, these two parents actually who are confirming that their children are still at home and they are not ready to join Ayani Primary School, claiming that that school is overcrowded, but they will be able to go to that school and of course confirm some of these allegations and see if there are other students who've already moved to that school and maybe how their learning activities going on at that particular area. But from St. Catherine, everything, it is at standstill. And of course the teachers and the parents, they look devastated. They look they wish that something could be done to change the situation, but now that it has already happened, they're hoping that something better could change. From Kibra, I take you back to studio.
Thank you so much, Dennis Matara, for that update from St. Catherine's School in Kibra. And you know, Shiksha, there are policies and guidelines that have been laid out by the Ministry of Education that establish a bare minimum requirement when it comes to establishment of any learning institution. I wonder where that document was as these schools were being constructed across the country, because St. Catherine is one of the over 35,000 primary schools that are supposed to be audited across the country when it comes to infrastructure.
Right, and of course, I mean, the one thing that is quite of interest, and it is a big concern, is the fact that some of the pupils there are in class 8, and you know, exam season is just around the corner, and of course that's going to be something that we'll find out what exactly has happened, because as of now they are at home and learning isn't going on for these students. Well, for now it's time to take another story with regards to the same, where Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko has suspended 16 top officials, including 2 county executives, over the Monday morning tragedy at Precious Talents Academy in Dagoretti area.
The officers from the Lands, Health and Planning departments were sent parking, even as a post-mortem conducted on the bodies of the 8 pupils who died in the tragedy. Among them, 7 girls and 1 boy revealed that they succumbed to head injuries.
Victor Olo with that report.
Emotional moments at the city mortuary in Nairobi, as parents and relatives of the 8 pupils who died after a classroom block at the Precious Talent Academy collapsed, trooped to the facility to identify the bodies. Tears flowing freely, with those who could not bear the pain of losing a child being supported by relatives. Outside the mortuary, Kenya Red Cross personnel were on standby to offer counseling sessions to the parents before the post-mortem exercise was conducted. And when the time came, they went in one by one to identify the bodies, sparking off even more emotions. After a procedure that lasted over 1 hour, Chief Government Pathologist Dr. Johansen Odur delivered his verdict.
The main injuries were in the head, because when I look at the head, they were very severe skull fractures with bleeding in the brain. I think about 2 or 3 of them had a fracture of the upper limbs and of the chest, but most of them had fractures of the skull, and it looked like crash injury, like something caved and fell on there, landed on their head.
A result that was painfully absorbed by the helpless parents.
State of confusion, hopelessness, and also anxiety.
I don't know what I can say, but keep on praying for us.
The building collapsed at 7. These children were in class already by 6:30. So why are classrooms open at 6:30? So there are many issues. So those we will deal with them after we have laid to rest the young souls.
At City Hall, Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko suspended 16 top county officials to pave way for investigations into the Monday incident. The governor accused the suspended officers for neglecting their duty leading to the Monday tragedy. Among those suspended are acting Finance CEC Charles Karich, who is also the substantive Land CEC, his health counterpart Mohammed Degane, Chief Officer Planning Justus Kathenge, who was already serving suspension, as well as Director of Planning and Enforcement Jasper Ndeke, among others. At the scene of the incident, members of the National Assembly Education Committee and officials of the Teachers Union Kupet visited the school to get a first-hand account of the tragedy and condole with the affected families, promising the government support in the burial arrangements.
Ni lazima serikali itafute shamba. Sio la shule moja, sio ya 2, au nataka shule karibu 3 eneo hili.
Tuweze kusindikiza wapendwa wao wazikwe kwa hadhi na kwa heshima. Hilo ndio jambo letu la kwanza. La pili ni kutafuta vile watoto wale ambao walikuwa precious talent watarudi shuleni.
Lazima Bwana Meli, the government of Kenya, the Ministry for Education, and this is fodder for you, must now take audit of how many students do we have in Nairobi.
To this end, the families will now be allowed to collect bodies of their loved ones to give them a befitting send-off. Victor Law, K24 at the City Mortuary, Nairobi.
That is Victor Law with an update on the stories that, the angles that we've been pursuing for you in as far as our news diary right here at K24 TV. is concerned, and we'll keep probing that matter and bring you further details as and when we get them.
All right, for now, we're going to be going to our reporter, that is Alfred in Muranga, as he keeps us up to speed with what's happening in his end and, of course, what to expect from Muranga County, of course, with regards to today's news diary. Good morning to you, Alfred. What do you have for us on K24 Daily Brief from your end?
Na asante sana Shiksha Arora na kupata vizuri kutoka kaunti ya Muranga. Niko katika kijiji cha Roro katika eneo bunge la Mathioya, na hivi leo nimeweza kuungana na mzee mmoja ambaye amekuwa akifuatilia kesi yake na kampuni ya majani chai ya KTDA ambayo imeweza kuagizwa na koti iweze kumlipa fidia baada ya kufanya kesi na wao kwa miaka 5. Kesi ambayo ilianza tarehe 5 Juni mwaka wa 2010 na ikaweza kukamilika mwaka wa 2015, na kutoka wakati huo wameweza kuwa wakiambiwa waweze kulipwa fidia na kampuni hii, ila kwa sasa hawezi. Ningetaka tu kumkaribisha ili aweze kutuambia ile hasara ambayo ameweza kupitia baada ya kesi hii kutolipwa fidia yake na mambo ambayo ameweza kupitia, kwani iwapo mpiga picha wangu ungeweza kutuonyesha huko nyuma ni kwamba yale ni majani chai yako huko na yanatoshana kama miti ya kawaida, na sasa kwa sasa anasema zao hili haliwezi kuendelea kuvunwa kwani halina mazao tena, kwani aliagizwa aweze kulipwa fidia, na naweza tu kumkaribisha atuambie ameweza kupitia hasara gani katika biashara hii.
Mimi naitwa Oliver Dismas Mbaria. Nilikuwa chairman wa Hembe, nikafungiwa majani 268 mwezi wa 15 mwezi wa 9, na wakati nilifungiwa majani nikaendelea kufanya kuandikia barua, na wakati waliandikiwa na kituo cha sheria wakaenda kotini wakanistaki mwezi 210. Na kutoka hapo kesi tunaenda naye paka 2015 nikawashinda. Wakati nilienda tufanye arbitration wakakataa, hata hasara wanakataa kutulipa. Saizi tunaenda hasara ya more than 3.5 billion kwa sababu ng'ombe na kila kitu zinamalizika hapa, kwa sababu kuna wanyama wanakaa kwa hiyo majani chai ndani. Kwa hivyo sasa tunauliza vile mnaweza kutusaidia, vile tunaweza pata hasara hii yetu tulipe, kwa sababu hata watoto wanalia, na hata vile tunaweza ona president, kwa sababu inaonekana hii watu wako na nguvu zaidi, kwa sababu wakiitwa na minister hawakuji, na mara nyingi wanaitwa na minister wanakataa. Kwa hivyo hii inaonekana tu they are so powerful. Kwa hivyo sasa wanaweza tu kuitwa na president ndio tusaidiwe, ama tupewe wakili senior counsel ambaye ataweza hii watu, kwa sababu hata kuna kesi nyingine huko nakuta hata inafanya hata chairman inakuwa na kesi Keru inakuwa ndio corruption factory Kenya, inatusumbua zaidi. Kwa hivyo sasa KTDA tunashindwa tunaweza fanyaje, na hata bibi yangu alifungiwa majani naye 2009 Januari, na hata ilikuwa nafungwa mwaka mzima hata ya mama yangu mpaka mama yangu akakufa.
Unaweza kutuambia labda ni miti mingapi ya majani chai? Majani
yangu ni 3,300, yangu ni 2,000.
Kwa jumla ni miti
5,500. Na kwa hivyo sasa hiyo tunaenda hasara hiyo yote. Kwa hivyo sasa tusaidiwe, tunaomba tusaidiwe. Ni njia gani mtu yoyote well wishers anaweza kutusaidia vile tunaweza KTD anaweza lipa sisi hasara, itatusaidia sana, kwa sababu hata watoto wetu bado wanatukanwa bahari waiko ni watoto wa mwisi, na mimi ni mchungaji. Kwa sababu jambo kuu, wakati sana nifungiwa majani nikaingia katika chama ya Kusto, sasa hiyo nikasemekana mimi ni hadui kwa sababu ninatetea wakulima wa majani chai. Kwa sababu I'm national vice chairman wa wakulima wa majani chai Kusto.
Na sisi ameweza kusikia ni kwamba huyo ni mkulima ambaye anaeleza ghadhabu zake. Hii ni baada ya kutolipwa fidia kama ilivyoagizwa na koti, na kwa sasa anatuma tu ombi lake kwa mtu yote ambaye anaweza kumsaidia. Na leo nitaweza kuwa nikifuatilia kisa tu kinachoendelea katika kaunti hii, ni kwamba madaktari kutoka hospitali ya Muranga wako wamekita kambi katika mji wa Maragwa, ambapo wanaweza kudunga watoto kutoka miaka 10 chanjo ya kutokana na saratani ya njia ya uzazi kama ilivyoagizwa. Na hivi leo hiyo shughuli inaendelea hapo katika mji wa Maragwa. Watu wameweza kufika hapo, naeleza kwamba wanaweza kupokea huduma hizo, na kwa sasa hivi ni hayo tu kwa sasa.
Thank you very much, Alfred, for that update from Muranga County, where he has highlighted the plight of tea farmers in the area, and of course just given us a feel of what exactly is going on with regards to tea farming.
Right, talking about tea farming, a lot has been said in as far as that issue is concerned, do you uproot your tea? Do you keep it in the farm? What is the end benefit at the end of the day? And what is the role of county governments and national governments when it comes to creating an enabling environment for tea farmers to thrive, even as they continue with this particular activity? Time for a break?
Definitely. We'll be right back.